Punya Jaya Ram Punya Kriya Adi Upinyanava Girivaradari Jaya Upinyanava Yasodhana Nana Prajana Nana Yasodhana Nana Prajana Nana Yamuna Dira Vanachari Yamuna Dira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Bhakti Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Bhakti Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodhananda Yasodhanandana Vrajanarandana Yamunadeva Vanadhati Yamunadeva Vanadhati Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जया उदीर्य नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पिंगम लंघयते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीदीनतारिणं। So we are reading from the seventh canto, um, chapter 5, verse 4. Text 4. Text 4. एकादसुररात् पुत्रम् अङ्कम् आरोप्य पाण्डव पश्चाकथयतां वत्स मन्यते साधु यद्भवान् एकादशूररात् पुत्रम् अङ्कम् आरोप्य पाण्डव पश्चाकथयतां वत्स मन्यते साधु यद्भवान्। एकादशूररात् पुत्रम् अङ्कम् आरोप्य पाण्डव पश्चाकथयतां वत्स मन्यते साधु यद्भवम्. Translation. My dear King Yudhishthir, once upon a time, the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, took his son Prahlad on his lap and very affectionately inquired, My dear son, please let me know what you think is the best of all the subjects you have studied from your teachers. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hiranyakashipu did not ask his young son anything that would be very difficult for him to answer. Instead, he gave the boy a chance to speak plainly about whatever he thought might be best. Prahlad Maharaj, of course, being a perfect devotee, knew everything and could say what the best part of life is. In the Vedas, it is said, Kasmin bhagavo vigyate sarvam idam vigyatam bhavati. If one properly understands God, he can understand any subject matter very nicely. Sometimes we have to challenge big scientists and philosophers, but by the grace of Krishna, we emerge successful. It is impossible, practically speaking, for ordinary men to challenge scientists or philosophers concerning genuine knowledge. But a devotee can challenge them because the best of everything is known to a devotee by the grace of Krishna. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10:11, Eshameva nukampartha om ajnanajam tamaha nashyami bhavasto jnanadipena bhavata. Krishna, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, as the super soul, dissipates all the ignorance from the heart of a devotee. As a special favor, he enlightens the devotee with all knowledge by putting before him the torch of light. Prahlad Maharaj therefore knew the best of knowledge, and when his father inquired from him, Prahlad gave him that knowledge. Prahlad was able to solve the most difficult parts of problems because of his advanced Krishna consciousness. Therefore, he replied as follows. So this verse is the turning point in the pastime that is unfolding. So from this verse, things take a turn. So the pastime of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu is probably the most read and discussed pastime. Um, there are plays on this, there are so many lectures, so many books on this. And it is actually the longest pastime in the Bhagavatam, with the exception of Krishna's pastime. So the 10th canto, which is 90 chapters. And there are two pastimes that are that are much longer than all the other pastimes. Right? One is this pastime of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj, which appears in the seventh canto, and the second is the pastime of Chitraketu, Maharaj Chitraketu. Right? So, um, 9 chapters are used to cover the, so it's from 7 to, from the second chapter in the second canto till the 10th chapter. Sukdev Goswami talks about the the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj, and in the sixth canto, beginning from the ninth chapter all the way till the 17th chapter, is the discussion of Maharaj Chitraketu. Now, any thoughts? Why does so like Prabhupada always says, time was at a premium for Parishit Maharaj. Only 7 days he had. Every word was measured in that context. Why is it that Sukadev Goswami took so much time to speak about these pastimes? Any thoughts?
I guess the devotional aspects for us
The devotional aspect.
playing
Relatable. That's the key. That's the key. Actually, um, and so it's said that the Bhagavatam speaks about 10 subjects. Like Atra Sarga Visargashra, Sthanam, Poshanam, Utaya, Manvantari, Shanu Katha, Nirodha Mukti, Ashraya. 10 subjects. These two pastimes are about Poshana. So, Poshan is the protection provided by the Supreme Lord. So, if you look at it, what was Parikshit Maharaj looking for? Right? He opens up the Bhagavatam with the question, what is the duty of a person and what is the duty of a person who is about to die? So he wasn't looking for protection from death. He was looking for protection from taking birth again. The Bhagavatam opens with the sages asking Sutta Goswami, same question. Now that Krishna is gone, what is our protection? So, uh, so as you were saying, it's the most relatable aspect because that's what we are looking for. And Prabhupada would say that we are aliens, and that's why. So if you're in an alien environment, you're always nervous and scared. Like I remember when I first came to the US, I was all alone, and it was a whole different paradigm. Like coming from India, which was my country and everything, there was this sense of complacency that I would travel anywhere with very little funds because I knew I could manage. I had friends and relatives, and I could speak the language, I knew the customs. But when I came to the US, it was a whole different thing. Anytime I would travel, I would make sure I knew exactly where I was going, how I was going, how would I get back. I had enough money. So this whole uh, the extra layer of the desire for protection comes because you are in an environment that is not naturally yours. So the jiva over here, even though we have been living for a long time, but for a longer time, this is not our home. Right. So that is why we have this. We have this desire for portion. Now, in addition to portion, the protection, there is an interesting comparison between these two significant pastimes. So the pastime of Maharaj Chitraketu appears in the sixth canto. What does the sixth canto open with? Sixth canto opens with the pastime of Ajmer. So the holy name makes its appearance for the first time in the sixth canto. The first five cantos are building up to that point. In the fifth canto, Sukdev Goswami talks about the material universe. He talks about how the planets are there, the hellish planets, etc. And then Ajmal appears in the sixth canto, glorifying the holy name. In the seventh canto, who appears for the first time? Narad Muni. Not really for the first time, he appears right in the first canto, but Narad Muni talking about Shuddha Bhakti. Right? In the very first chapter, when Yudhishthira Maharaj asks Narad Muni that does Krishna, is Krishna partial? Does he favor the Devas and is he envious of the Asuras? And in relation to that, then Narad Muni begins to relate to him the 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 pastime of Narsingadev, to talk about that Krishna, he's not he's not partial to Asuras and Suras. Prahlad Maharaj was an Asura. He was born in the family of demons, but Krishna was partial to him. So his so-called partiality is actually reciprocation. You cannot fault one for loving somebody that loves you, right? You can fault the person for the opposite. That if somebody loves you and you neglect the person, then you can fault the person. But not if a person is reciprocating love with love and envy with some kind of envy. So the pastime of Prahlad Maharaj also demonstrates the second most important aspect of the Bhagavatam, which is which is Shuddha Bhakti. Now, in this verse, the mood that we see of Hiranyakashipu towards Prahlad is one of intense affection. Right? It starts off with Ekada. Ekada is one time, once upon a time. Asura Rath Putram. Asura Rath, right? So the king of the Asuras. Putram with his son Ankamarupya. Right? Ankamarupya means on his lap with lot of affection. He sits him. Then Prapacha Kathayam Vatsa. So Vatsa means is a very affectionate term for your son. So we see that strong affection in Hiranyakashipu. Manyate sadhu yad bhavan. Manyate sadhu, that sadhu. So Sushil Prabhupada translates it as what you think is the best of all subjects. So sadhu means sadhu one is the noun, a person sadhu, that a person who embodies the qualities. Sadhu also means auspiciousness. This is sadhu sadhu. So sadhu yad bhavan. So the last word bhavan, it's used, it's a pronoun. It's like in English, they say you for everybody. If the person is elder to you, you still say, what are you doing? If the person is younger to you, you'll say, what are you doing? In Sanskrit, it is more nuanced. Like in Hindi also, like they'll say aap if somebody is older than you, and they'll say tum if the person is a peer, or they'll say tu if the person is younger or more intimate. So Bhavan in Sanskrit is you with a lot of respect. Now, why would Hiranyakashipu address his 5-year-old son as Bhavan, as with so much of respect? Right? So Prabhupada gives two understandings of it. One he gives in the word to word. Right? In the word to word, he translates Bhavan as your good self. Right? So this is the father, the one who is feared by Indra, talking to his son, saying Bhavan. Like this is the mood that a disciple will use to talk to a spiritual master. Your 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 good self, to some extent, it reflects his affection for his child. Right? Sometimes parents, out of intense affection to the child, they will say, "Aap kya kar rahe ho? What are you doing?" And so the this is the humor of affection. This is also the Saraswat. So it's said that sometimes, like in the 10th canto, when Shishupal is insulting Krishna, like he insults him 100 times, and he calls him a lot of bad things. And acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti, this also use the Sanskrit to translate it as glorification of Krishna. And when when he says to Krishna that you are immoral, and then Vishwanath Chakravarti says that, if you translate the Sanskrit differently, that you're beyond morality. So it translates it differently. So Bhavan is also an acknowledgement of the position of Prahlad. Because essentially speaking, there are two exalted devotees sitting over there. Who's Hiranyakashipu? Jay. Right? He's an eternal associate of Lord Vishnu, pure devotee. Right? And Prahlad Maharaj is another pure devotee. So 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 in very subtle ways, that affection and love is coming through. Prabhupada also translates Bhavan as your respected teachers. That what did your teachers teach you? In the uh, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada comments based on his own experience about uh, why did Hiranyakashipu ask Prahlad Maharaj this question, and why is Prahlad Maharaj qualified to answer this question? He says he's qualified to answer this question because he's a devotee. And one who knows Krishna knows everything. And he quotes the Chaturshloki, the last of the Chaturshloki, Teshan Evanukam Partha, Omakya Chantama. Why does the devotee know everything? Because the devotee is in contact with Krishna. And Prabhupada would use the example of you put an iron rod in fire, after some time, the iron rod becomes like fire. When the devotee is in contact with Krishna, he begins to acquire the qualities of Krishna. And one of the qualities of Krishna is that he is Sarvagya. He knows everything about everything. So the devotees begin to reflect that quality. And then, as testimony, Srila Prabhupada, he shares from his own personal experience. And he says, I have debated with uh, with scientists and religious leaders, and because I have the mercy of Krishna, it's Prabhupada's humility that he's saying it's not that I'm brilliant or I am, and he was all that, but he's not accepting that. He's saying because I have the mercy of Krishna, I was able to, I was able to be victorious. So I was reflecting a little bit on Prabhupada's debates, and uh, in Nyaya, in logic, there are three categories of debates. Right? There is Vad, there is Jalpa, and there is Vitanda. So Vad is debates that are meant for illumination, where both the parties are discussing with the desire to know more. So it says debates produce either light or heat. Light is illumination and heat is anger. So Vad is producing an abundance of light. So, for example, Prabhupada's debates with his disciples, they were like Vad. Like, and what's that book that Prabhupada did? Beyond Illusion and Doubt. And there was a book that Prabhupada wrote, which was essentially debates with his disciples on different religions. Right? He did not himself know much about all the religions. So he would ask them, well, you tell me. And then based on that, he would then comment on that, right? And that got recorded into this. There is another book also that Prabhupada was once in Mayapur, and then there was a person who was volunteering in the Greenpeace Corps close by, and then he heard that there is an Indian guru, so he came and he would ask questions. The person's name was Bob Cohen. And he came and he would ask questions, and Prabhupada liked the conversation that he would then call him back, come get him back the next day. And those questions and answers were recorded in a book called Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. And eventually that person took initiation, Brahmatirtha Prabhu, right? He became a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So that's in the category of Vag, where the debates are illuminating, enlightening. Everybody benefits from it. The second category of debate is Jalpa. So in Jalpa, the focus is on proving one's point. That one tries to prove one's point. And Prabhupada did that especially in instances there was uh, where the other person had the same motive. Right. Once Prabhupada was in LA, and there was a group of these professors from uh, uh, they were teaching like religion. So they came and they sat down, and Prabhupada asked them that what do you think is the essence of all philosophy? And they kind of talked amongst one another. They said, we don't know. And Prabhupada said, then you have to find Krishna. And it was so masterfully done because they already said we don't know. So they accepted the answer that Prabhupada gave. And Prabhupada had this unique ability that people, even if they lost, they walked away happy. And he would never make it personal or insulting, right? Sometimes he did, but not. Like once he was in Mayapur, and there was this person who came who was like a professor in different scriptures, Vedas. And Prabhupada asked the question that, what is the essence of all the scriptures? And he said, oh, there are so many scriptures that talk about so many things. So Prabhupada said, yeah, but what is the essence? So then I don't really know. So there was a small Gurukuli boy over there. And Prabhupada said, come here. So the boy was playing, he came, he said, what is the essence of all the scriptures? The boy said, no Krishna, and he went away. And then Prabhupada turned towards the person and said, see, even a small boy knows the essence of the scriptures. Right? So this is the category of Jalpa, where Prabhupada was more, he wanted to establish the point that he was making. Once, this is Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, and he had gotten an academician with him. Right? And Prabhupada asked him a similar question that um, you know, where do all the philosophies converge? And person said, I don't really know. Then he turned to Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj and he said, what do you call people who claim to know everything but don't know? Right? And Bhakti Swarup, at that time he was a brahmachari. And he said, we call them cheaters, Prabhupada. So, okay. I said, okay. So then there was the third category, which is the Vitanda, that Prabhupada generally avoided. So Vitanda is debates where the only purpose is to defeat the other person. It's not even the person doesn't even have a point to make. It's just to say that the other person is wrong. And Prabhupada he would rarely engage in those kinds of debates. He would kind of sidestep them. Like sometimes people would stand up and say that you're guru, so you know everything. So, and then they would ask some question that uh, how many living entities are there in this world, or some trivia question. And Prabhupada would typically answer by saying, how will that help you at the time of death? Knowing that there are 20 trillion jivas, or knowing that there are so many molecules in the universe, how will you know that? How will that help you at the time of that, right? So he would typically sidestep those kinds of debates. So this is actually the pastime of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj. There are two important lessons that are there, and Srila Prabhupada reveals the first lesson right away, that one has to know. Prahlad Maharaj was able to hold his own position against his enormously powerful father because he knew. So uh, when we know something, then we know what to do. Right? So it is said that by knowledge, we know what to do. By association, we know how to do it. And by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we are able to do it. So all these three go hand in hand. Right? Sometimes, and this is happening more now than earlier on, people will say, Prabhu, I just like to sing and dance. Right? And these books are too much for me. And um, anyway, the essence of everything is chant and be happy. Right. That is the essence. But where will we get that conviction that this is the essence of everything? Prabhupada presented it because he had already gone through this process of learning from his guru, from his peers, from his father. So, if you're fortunate enough that we develop that conviction naturally, then yes. But for the most of us, the process of developing that conviction is by the systematic studying of Srila Prabhupada's books, not reading them, studying them. That will give us the conviction of what needs to be done and what should not be done. And then we associate with devotees, then we understand how to do it. Right? We can understand that we have to chant the holy name. Then we associate with devotees and we understand how best to chant the holy name with full concentration, without the offenses. And then when we get the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we are actually able to chant the holy name. So that is one lesson. The second lesson that comes later on in this pastime uh, is is the Tenukampam Sumikshuman, right? The verse from Lord Brahma's prayers that Prahlad Maharaj, he faced constant adversities, but he never once blamed Krishna. And he never once doubted the presence of Krishna. All that he wanted was to continue with his meditation on Krishna. Right. So the it's a spoiler alert. That's the one that comes later on. So I'll pause over here and see if there is any discussion.
You mentioned earlier that these two pastimes were the longest discussion.
Yes.
And I'm remembering it says Lord Chaitanya, he would often, when he would discuss this pastime and Judy March. So I'm wondering, what those two pastimes we often would discuss them.
He did. Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So,
Yeah. He would sit at the Tota Gopinath temple. He would sit in front of the Tota Gopinath deity and he would discuss these pastimes over and over again. Yeah.
I just back to
Mhm. Yeah.
nothing before. I keep reading certain things, but I
Yeah.
just asked for God in the Bible time. I mean, I keep certain things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should just do the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a passage, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And every time we read, we get some new insights, some new realizations. It's
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Bhagavad Gita for like 40 years, and still it's only taking a lot.
yeah.
No, it's not hard.
Yeah.
This verse says, pictures in the heart.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's revealing himself more and more to so that's something.
There's something in the chat, I guess that's so. Let me see. Uh, okay. Okay, I think it's there are no questions, it's just the verse and the purports.
I remember this Bhagavatam came out.
Hmm.
I joined 1974. I think maybe the second canto was out at that time. So like every month you would get the next book.
Okay,
Because they were done that time they were printed in like Bhagavatam portrait.
I see, I see.
And Prabhupada would print about usually 10,000 at a time.
Okay.
I guess they get big buys or whatever, and we would distribute them. So the big semi would pull up you hear, no, you take them out first. And then you get your ballot, right? God. So you just put them in every month. So this piano, of course, was highly because the discussions of planets and higher planets.
The whole cosmology. Yeah.
And then, I'm not asking so many questions, because when you get more Virginians, there's some politics, everything, well, it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. We try to reconcile it with what conventional.
But this, problem this
Mm.
problem, the lecturing is also, but they don't have book. So, of course, you get so many lectures on this subject.
I
So now you got some tools, so you pretty much do the essence of it, but now you got. So when that way came on, you couldn't sleep at night. This shortcoming. But it is broken into parts also, so you don't get the complete thing.
I know, I know. There are so many things we take for granted now. You know, you can anytime you want, you can get Prabhupada's books on your phone or your laptop. Right, and earlier on, devotees would anticipate, and getting a copy was
But now they pray one song. I think so, when they just put, yeah, also for just one volume.
more, yeah,
Or like.
yeah. I think with that.
Cost.
Okay, okay,
To put a phone, a spot. And they were trying to get them out, I think I'm guessing.
yeah,
Almost saw.
nice.
We used the BBT man at that time.
Okay, okay.
He's pretty, his health like, he just waking about it.
Oh, wow.
He has a book about that.
I see.
So he'll speak sometimes in the classes. You can ask him so many questions and
Oh,
nice to hear these little wowing things that are. Right there, especially the publishing.
Where did you join?
Huh?
Where did you join?
I get back here.
Where did you join? Where did you join?
That has been in that time.
Okay, okay, okay,
Moved to one street after all.
okay.
The building was just too old. Even the sewage was full of sickness coming out. So they maybe they come over. They moved to one street. Maybe there's another set of problems. So getting cute on like this.
Oh, neighbors.
Look like the bar.
I see.
Anyways. So, yeah, this is gonna be,
So you must have been really young when you joined.
I was,
Uh, there's another devotee. Who's the who joined in Chicago? The one who was the temple president before Chikalakya?
Oh, Shashtivar.
Shashtivar. Festival. He also joined in from Chicago, but later on. No, he said he joined. He was sharing once that Deva Shakti Mataji was. She had this big bag of books on her, and she like very small and petite, and he just felt sorry for her. He said this small frail woman carrying these big books. He said, "Okay, I'll take a book from you," and and then that changed his life. And he's also Prabhupada disciple. I don't remember which year he joined. And then, maybe later, 76 or something. I think he joined. Ah, okay, okay.
Station in New York.
Huh?
My goal was to make brahmacharis.
Ah.
Because she's very down and attractive, so she took down compliment me.
Wow. Wow.
Some interesting stories like Chandra Mali Maharaj.
I see.
She was constantly going to his house, and at one point he didn't. So
I see.
so she gave him one of the books, and then kind of took his wallet out, paid for him, just took all the money. He came so upset.
Uh,
He told him to leave.
I see. Oh, really?
He said him and blame now. So anyway, nobody knows the place we drove New York,
Oh, okay.
but for those, you let me know.
Call the cops.
I see the same else in the novel. And it's it's just I can't believe you didn't tell all of a sudden you were enjoying the book. But he was so he didn't see her getting to the same else.
So Deva Shakti Mataji is in Vrindavan, right? Tulsi Kunda, right? She's taking care of Tulsi Kunda.
That's a bookstore. That's bookstore. That's like stay on there.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay.
They station.
Oh, really?
Decide that they work should do something or not.
I see.
So everybody's about to leave their bodies. You know the story, David.
Yes.
So
No, that I don't
David
know.
Reesemer, he was in Princeton. No, Yale.
Princeton. He was in Princeton. No, Princeton.
Princeton.
He.
Well,
And,
but back to Nagari. But he didn't like his books. He said, "I didn't want books."
uh-huh.
So they advertised Bhagavatams. And he didn't want to wait. So he knew she was selling books and that, but he went to the book authority. He said, "I want this Bhagavatam." She says, "Why do you want this Bhagavatam?" You're not qualified, Yeah, and she started putting the Srimad through all these things, and she convinced them to the point to give a huge donation, sometimes like $2,000.
Wow.
And he's like, "I don't have any money with him." So where's your money? He said, "My parents home, we live in Manhattan." Well, let's go. So then she goes to the house. You have to wait outside.
I see.
He comes down with the money. He says, "Is that all you have?" And he goes down and drinks some water. So later on,
He got the book.
what do you do with my money? So he goes to the
Mm. Mm.
and Richard, you serve me.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
But it's you big those you made them all.
Wow. Wow. I had no idea. I had no idea.
She told me like this is how do you go to cell phones? How do they go on shows?
I agree. I agree. Yeah. We met her a few times. Yeah. Right. She.
She did them all.
Okay. Yeah, she's a lot mellow now, I guess. Okay, so we'll end over here. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much for your.
Hare Krishna.